Hi guys, welcome back to DMT, Desmonton Motorcycle Trips. I'm on my big 7-day Scotland tour, a trip I've always wanted to do. I'm on day 6 now, so check out the previous 5 videos if you have accidentally clicked onto this one, which shows the journey so far. I'm riding a route I thought would be the best after listening to other bikers' comments and tips. So it's not the NC 500, although this section up to Tong is part of the North Coast 500. The landscape is rugged and beautiful. I'm riding a GS 1250, the perfect bike for touring, and heading towards Durness in the top left hand corner of Scotland. I've got 225 miles to go today, so I'm going from Ullapool to a place called Grantown-on-Spey. It's probably a village full of grandmas, Grantown. Not a bad view first thing in the morning, is it? I just say guys, every now and again you will get the NC 500 tourist sign. It's 152 miles to John O'Groats. Obviously your waterproof garments are an essential bit of clothing for up here in the north. I then ride over the Kalesko curved bridge, which was opened by the Queen in 1984. This landscape is called Asint. This comes from a Norse word meaning rocky ridge and reminds us that Vikings ruled this area about 1,000 years ago. Something else, Scotland's got lots of sandy beaches. Look at that! Amazing! I'm in a convoy now. How many are there? Trying to count them as I go around the edge there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them. Another sandy beach. A couple walking the dog. Saturday morning. Beautiful. Look at that view. Amazing. A short while later I was crossing the 600 foot long Kyle of Tong Bridge, which connects the A838 from Thurso to Durness across the loch. And even better, there's a calf at the end of the causeway. I've been riding all morning, so I need some scram. There's those bikers I overtook early on, and anyway, I've been on the go since first thing this morning, or 9:30ish. So I need some lunch. They probably had lunch somewhere else. So yeah, let's get a bite to eat in here. So just to say guys, there's no traffic around me. I've just stopped out at this T-junction. John O'Groats is straight on. This is where I'm doing my version, so I'm taking this right road, the A836 to Altnahara. Whilst I'm at this junction, I thought it'd be a good point to show you or evidence some of the comments that I did read, which encouraged me to take the route that I'm taking from Tong down to Altnahara and down all the way that road towards Inverness. And you do jump onto the A9, I have to, towards Inverness to get round to the top of the Cairngorms, which is, trust me, later on in the video, it's a spectacular road there that I didn't know anything about. But some of the comments that I did read, and I'll read them here, quote, "Unless you've got a particular desire to go to John O'Groats, don't. Expensive cafes and hotels aside, there's sod all of interest there, and the roads to and from it are full of dozy NC 500 motorhomes and other such mobile hazards. On the way back, go via Tomitall and Mountain Road, vastly superior to the A9 and just brilliant on a motorbike. another quote here. Cut boring John O'Groats out, Boner Bridge through to Antanara to Tong is stunning, northeast is not. The famous YouTuber Teapot One is Scottish, and he's an avid moto vlogger, and if he's going to recommend going clockwise and avoiding the A9, then I'm going to take his advice. Let's crack on with the video. Oh, and also later on you'll see this super road that I'd never even heard anything about. All these roads around the UK, I'd never heard about this road in the Cairngorms. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, let's crack on back to that junction where I'm turning right. This is where I'm taking a right, and effectively I start going due south right through the middle of Scotland. And I was thinking about Scotland and this trip, about all the different types of scenery that I've come across, and each time I do a different section of it, it just reminds me of other places I've been to, like Wales or Cumbria or Rhodes or Gran Canaria or Spain, in South Spain in the mountains. All the great places I've ridden and I thought were fantastic, and they are. Scotland has got all of it in this vast place. You know, you'll come through different phases of the north coast, and I say to myself, oh, that reminds me of when I was there, or this reminds me of that. Yeah, okay, it's 8 degrees, 7 degrees now. I mean, I'm warm. I've got thermals on, I've got my liners on, waterproofs on, so I can tolerate the cold. If it rains, then that kind of like puts a bit of a dampener on it, because the road's wet and it's your visor's wet, and it kind of pees you off a little bit. But so long as it's dry, doesn't have to be hot, because it can be in the summer, but you're going to get all the tourists and the midges. Yeah, just wrap up, come on a bike and experience this part of the world. It's just awesome, it's fantastic. We're really enjoying this road. Whoever it is that mentioned it, thanks for that suggestion, and I'm going to be passing this on to anybody that watches this video. Come this way, guys, you won't regret it. From Tong to Grantown it was 122 miles. After crossing the Keswick Bridge, I arrived at my Airbnb in Grantown-on-Spey. I took a quick walk around to get a bite to eat. Little to my surprise, this beautiful town was not full of grannies. This is the Grant Arms Hotel, one of Scotland's oldest and most prestigious hotels, dated back to 1765. Set within the world famous Cairngorms National Park, I'm stopping overnight nearby in an Airbnb in Grantown. But just to say, it's a good place to stay if you wanted to stop a bit longer and explore the region's wildlife and world-class whisky distilleries. If that doesn't rock your boat, there's also salmon fishing on the River Spey, along with zip lining, canoeing and mountain biking. So just to conclude, at the end of day 6, I've ridden 224 miles, ridden for nearly 6 hours and spent £115. The next morning will show the varying weather fronts Scotland has, as I experienced 2 degrees and snow in the morning, but then bright full sun late on when I discovered that brilliant old military road. But not before coming across a car rally and a royal distillery visited by Queen Victoria. Oh, I tell you what, I am enjoying it now. I'm warm, I've got the heated grips and the heated seat on. Yeah, there's a ski lift, look, the actual centre. Where am I? I'm in, oh, welcome to Aberdeenshire, Lech Ski Centre. got a red squirrel sign here, warning red squirrels. Not sure what I'm supposed to do on seeing a warning red squirrel sign. Do I give way to them? Head off into the gully at the side of the road to save the squirrel's life? Or right off the GS? Oh, it's the biker! Hey, are they happy? They're waving. They're happy. Yeah, they're waving. They're having a nice time. The sun's come in. Now we just want the road to dry out. What's that place there? Oh, that looks well busy. Looks like there's a car club there, Porsches. Should I go in there for a cup of tea? Actually, I think I might do. I'm going to turn round. Oh, don't tell me it is all those bikers coming past. I think it is. Oh, there's. Oh no, there's a group of 4 or 5. Gravel driveway. So, oh. Yeah, it looks like there's a car club here. Look. So I've just met Chris, he's part of the Cannonballs run, he's the leader and they're all about to leave and the rain's just started imminently, so just tell me quickly what it's all about, Chris.
Cannonballs run, we've been running this for the last 11 years. I started this with my brother Liam. My brother lost my brother Liam in 2021 with a condition called Marfan syndrome. He was just a lovely guy, an amazing guy, and just my hero. So we raised money for the Marfan Trust and we also raised for a guest charity as well. So this guest charity this year is Andy's Man Club, so for male suicide awareness.
Yeah, so I think it's the Distinguished Gentleman Ride, just something similar for the motorbikes, but I shan't keep you. There's about 25 of you vehicles, all sports vehicles I imagine.
Yeah, all different. Anyone can come along with anything, it's just come along and
and it's a 250-mile route you're doing from
250
where to...
today, northeast 250. So we started at Ballindall Distillery, and now we're heading on to Glenshee, and then from Glenshee out to Aberdeenshire, and then back to the Murray Coast and finish off eventually at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Right, okay.
At Hopeman Caravan site.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll film you leaving.
Thank you so much.
Interesting vehicles. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.
Nice to meet you.
You too, my friend. Take care. Thank you. Cannonballs!
Out of all of these, this is one I'd pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one for me. There's about 25 altogether. They're all shooting off up into the mountains, looking at the Cairngorms. See ya! Oh, I crashed into the car. Excellent. What else would you rather be doing on a Sunday? Yeah. Enjoy it, have fun. But yeah, so this is the Highland tourist route. As you can see all the signs there, the tourist route is saying to go straight on that way, but I'm heading right. In a few seconds I'll be passing the entrance to Balmoral Castle, which has been the cherished home of the royal family since 1852. Now, I'm not going to visit the castle or the gardens, but it offers a unique glimpse into royal life surrounded by breathtaking highland landscapes. Since I left Grantown-on-Spey, I can see why the late Queen Elizabeth enjoyed her time here. Now, I'm not a whisky drinker either, but I'm just popping into the nearby Royal Lochs distillery for a peek before embarking on the Old Military Road to conclude my big 7-day Scotland tour. How much whisky do you think Scotland exported last year in 2024? Well, the Scotch Whisky Association released global export figures showing that Scotch exports stood at 5.4 billion, which was the equivalent of 1.4 billion 70 CL bottles of Scotch whisky, equating to 44 bottles per second. This looks interesting. Let's just take a little detour into here. I don't need to go this way. But there's some nice little mountain sport shops. Some bikers pulled up. As you can see, bikers everywhere. Woo! Beautiful. So this is selling the Cairngorms, isn't it, for a motorcycle tour? If you just wanted to come here for a bit of a spin. You come round another corner and you're met with another spectacular view. Got to get a picture of this. Beautiful. Now let me tell you, the biggest surprise on this trip, mainly because I wasn't expecting it, was an absolutely awesome road to ride in Scotland's ski capital, the Cairngorms. The A93 road runs east to west from Aberdeen to Balmoral. Then from Balmoral it then runs south to a place called Blairgowrie and Rattray. Now I only picked the A93 up from Balmoral, heading south towards Edinburgh, but let me tell you, from Balmoral the A93 here is also called the Old Military Road, and boy was that a joy to ride. They're having a nice time on the Cairngorms. Not sure if they were from the distillery. If they were, I hope they didn't have a drop of whiskey, because they're having a little bit of fun. You still hear them from here. Down the bottom. It's fantastic. If anyone is watching, can you tell me what the A93 to Aberdeen is like? Because if it's anything like this section, then I'll have to go back and take another look. Mostly a day like this as well, it's adding to the fulfilment, shall we say. That's a tight bend, look. I just caught up with this fella. I think I might overtake him. wait, see, he's waved me past. Make sure it's... Whoa, look at this. Yes, please. This is a laugh out loud moment road. Well, the fun had to come to an end soon, so a short while later I arrived in Edinburgh to find my travel lodge for the night. I'd be continuing south the next morning to stop in Ulston again, then finally heading back to the Midlands and home the following morning. I hope I've given you a better way down on the A836 from Tong and the glorious Old Military Road in the Cairngorms as opposed to the A9. If you're still watching, guys, thank you so much. Please drop any comments down below. Please subscribe if not already and click the thumb button to support the channel, and the bell notification will let you know when the next video is come out. Ride safe and hope to see you soon. Take care for now. Bye.